The gunshot split the night wide open. Rusty, my dog, yelped and went down, blood soaking the porch boards. I froze, staring at the so-called police officers Karen had sent to intimidate me into selling my cabin. They thought I was just some old man, but they had no idea. I wasn't just a homeowner, I was the former police chief of Pine County. Act 1. The conflict begins. My name's Raymond Heller, 60 years old, retired police chief, widower. These days, it's just me and Rusty, my son Ethan's old German Shepherd. Ethan's been gone 3 years now, taken from me in a routine traffic stop that was anything but routine. Since then, I've kept to myself in my cabin by Pine Lake. Peace, quiet, reflection. That's all I wanted. But peace doesn't last long when Karen Blackstone shows up at your door. Karen. She was the president of the Lakeside Summit HOA, 50 years old, blonde bob sharp as a helmet, expensive jacket, heels that clicked across the gravel like gunshots, clipboard in hand. Always, she carried that thing like it gave her divine authority. The first time she visited, she didn't even bother with pleasantries. She waved a check in my face. 6 figures. Sell the cabin, she said. We have development plans. Crimson Holdings is offering good money. I laughed. Lady, this cabin isn't for sale. Her smile twisted. If you don't sell, you won't last long here. At first, I thought it was empty bluster. I'd dealt with mobsters, cartel lieutenants, dirty politicians. What's one suburban queen with a clipboard? But then the mailbox was ripped out. My power cut off. Notices taped to my door claiming violations, illegal dock, unsafe chimney, non-compliant siding. My water bill quadrupled overnight. Somebody was squeezing me, and it had Karen's signature all over it. One night, men showed up in tactical gear, claiming to be deputies. They flashed papers, shouted about a warrant. I knew every deputy in this county by name. These weren't them. I spotted the spelling error in the header. Fake, sloppy, but still dangerous. I felt Rusty stiffen beside me, growling low. That dog could sense danger better than any radar. And from the way those men fingered their triggers, danger was exactly what was coming. Act 2. Escalation and doubt. Over the next week, it became obvious Karen wasn't freelancing. She had muscle, and behind her was Crimson Holdings, a so-called development company run by Augustus Crane, a man whose name I'd seen buried in old racketeering files. They wanted my cabin not for its wood, not for its view, but because the land held records, paper trails, the last unbroken link in a chain of property transfers that could prove their money laundering network. My little piece of land was the hole in their dam. Karen's harassment got bolder. Cars idled outside at night. Drones buzzed my windows. Anonymous letters told me to get out while I still could. And then came the night Rusty took a bullet. I'd just stepped onto the porch when headlights swept across the yard. 4 men in police uniforms jumped out. One raised a shotgun. Rusty lunged forward before I could stop him. The blast echoed. Rusty yelped. Collapsed. I dropped to my knees, blood soaking my hands, his eyes wide in pain. Rage boiled in me, but so did doubt. What am I doing? And I thought, I'm an old man. Ethan's gone. Rusty's hurt. Maybe Karen's right. Maybe I should walk away, sell, disappear. Who am I to fight an empire? For the first time in my life, I felt powerless. Then one of the men laughed. Same mutt from the traffic stop. He sneered. Didn't learn last time, huh? My heart froze. The traffic stop. Ethan. These weren't just thugs. They were tied to my son's death. And just like that, my doubt hardened into fire. I hit the live stream button on my phone, pointing the camera straight at their faces. Say that again, I demanded. The smirk vanished. Suddenly, the whole world, neighbors, strangers, even my daughter Sarah at DHS headquarters was watching. The cowards scattered. But not before the audio was captured. A confession. Evidence. That was my turning point. Act 3. The climax. Word spread fast. Karen doubled down, calling me a fraud, ranting that I was slandering community leaders. She paraded her supporters down the street, clipboards in the air like torches. But I had more than anger now. I had proof. When Morrison, the ringleader of her fake cops, showed up again, I was ready. He drew his gun, but I was faster. Years of training don't fade. Rusty, bandaged but stubborn, stood beside me, growling low. I called him out in front of the live stream. Your voice matches the audio from 3 years ago. The traffic stop that killed my boy. You think people won't recognize it? His face drained. For the first time, I saw fear. He stammered, then broke, admitting on camera that Karen and Crimson Holdings had used him and his crew to clean up problems. Ethan had been one of those problems. And then the big man himself arrived. Augustus Crane. Helicopter blades chopping the air. Mercenaries in tactical gear surrounding him. He strode up my driveway like a king, grinning. Name your price. Chief, everyone's got one. I laughed in his face. You're already finished. FBI, DHS, ATF, they're watching this stream right now. The mercenaries shifted uneasily. Phones were everywhere. Tens of thousands tuned in live. Crane's grin faltered. Sirens wailed in the distance, real ones this time. Black SUVs tore down the road, feds pouring out. Weapons trained. Karen shrieked, mascara running, screaming that she was protecting the community. Morrison dropped to his knees, babbling apologies. Crane tried to board the chopper, but agents swarmed, dragging him down in cuffs. And just like that, the queen of the HOA, her sheriff-for-hire thugs, and the kingpin behind them were all done. Final beat. I didn't celebrate. I just sat on the porch, Rusty's head in my lap, watching the sun rise over Pine Lake. Because the truth is simple. Fake power only works as long as people are too scared to call it out. Once the truth shines through, bullies crumble.